Hey everybody, welcome to episode 5 of our Creating in Exandria series. I'm Kyle, one of the players for this campaign. Before we get started, just want to let everyone know we do have a merch store, so if you feel free and feel like supporting us, please check it out at shopcreatingafterdark.com. Also, like always, this episode will be uploaded to our YouTube page on Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find links to both places below. So, with that, little quick announcements get going. I'm going to hand it over to our amazing DM Connor and take it away.
All right. So you've all rested the night in Crom's Rest, the stone tavern near the entrance to the city of Druvenlode, after your strange journey. As you all awaken, I need you, Mateo, to make a wisdom saving throw.
You die first.
What you get for being 10 minutes late?
I got an 18.
An 18. All right.
Oh, maybe he doesn't die with that roll.
You feel as you're lulling back into consciousness from your night's sleep, you feel a strange grasping at the back of your mind, an unfamiliar feeling, something you've never felt before. But very quickly it passes, and you think it may be from the dream. I don't know. Nothing important.
Okay.
You all awaken at about the same time. Hard to tell what time that is, being as that you're underground technically, but you're awake and ready to go for the day. Is there anything you would like to have handled the night before or this morning?
Not before, no. But Reginald will go around and try and find select. Huh?
Bum things from people, beg for more goods.
No. He's going to try and sample Druvenlode's most fine cuisine and see what kind of rock these dwarves eat for breakfast.
As you go down into Crom's Rest, seeing what they have, I assume you're not leaving the inn, but rather just seeing what they have for breakfast here? Or are you trying to go around town?
I'm not going to go full tourist. I mean, people are dying here. I'm not crazy.
Okay, as you go downstairs, Crom's Rest has a surprising variety in its food. There are baked goods that are a little strange in their primary ingredients anyway. There are black moss pastries and things like that. On top of that, there are a selection of fairly fine and fresh meats that have been cooked fresh that morning. There is pork and beef and a few other things that a little harder to identify. But food-wise, the city is much different than most of the cities you've been in recently, because it is primarily dwarven cuisine.
Okay. Well, you know.
But you have a pretty good breakfast for pretty cheap. Cool. In fact, free.
Mother bitch. Okay. All right. Then I will eat to my heart's content until everyone's down.
Yeah.
Down and ready.
At some point, I would have come down after doing like a quick workout.
Okay.
And as
a sweaty goblin wanders downstairs.
Right. And then as I'm, having breakfast or whatever, I'll open up the parchment that I was given, kind of like our orders of what we're looking for, and just see if there's any like point of contact of who I should talk to about
give me 1 second.
The people being murdered thing.
That's the question I forgot to ask. Flashback.
What was the question you wanted to ask?
Like, who the fuck are we supposed to talk to, right?
Oh, as you're checking the note, Ozzy, it is pretty much just a you're in the clear to do these things by the Empire note, but it does cite that you could go ask the captain of the guard named Rin if you have any questions about the killings. He's the one that's been overseeing the investigation here in Druvenlode.
Ren.
Okay.
Varen comes down probably last, or Ogren rather, whichever you'd prefer to use. Comes down last.
That's a question for you, Connor. What would you rather us call him now?
I would much rather us use Varen now that is in the clear and open. But if it is too confusing for any of us, you can use Ogren. That is fine.
So whichever one you choose, I'll choose the other one. Okay.
Okay, that's good. So you keep using Ogren, and everyone else uses Varen. As you all get downstairs, he would be probably the last one down, and he is looking a little worse for wear. He seems pretty hungover from his night's festivities in his room.
That sounds so sad.
As you guys come downstairs, Crom, the man behind the bar, very quickly addresses Varen and turns and he's like, "So what can I help you for? What brings you to town? I know you don't like being here any more than you have to." Varen looks up, bleary-eyed, still on the verge of being drunk, and says, "You know, the usual. Jenny tells me to go and I go. I'm just following these idiots and keeping them alive." Crom takes a moment, looking him up and down. You can notice, most of you are smart enough to see that he knows Varen fairly well and is looking a little disappointed at seeing him in this state. Varen goes, "So, do you know what's going on with, the killings?" Crom takes a moment, looks around the room to see if anyone's paying close attention, and the few people who are here basically just neck deep in a bottle or eating a breakfast quietly to themselves, trying not to pay attention to their surroundings. The general feeling in this tavern right now is downtrodden and a little stressed out. Crom goes, "Well, you know as much as I do. Everyone was human. There was a new one this morning, though. Kid named Antoine."
As I hear that, I kind of perk up.
He looks over at you, but knowing you're in the group, keeps going. He goes, "He was a good kid. I don't know, 18, 19 years old. They found him a few blocks away from here. I'm going to keep the place open for you guys, but I don't think we're going to be having an open house anytime soon. Place is looking a little dangerous."
So that is the 5th murder then?
Yes. The 5th person.
And all humans.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of humans? I mean, not you, but, the city. What does the city think of humans?
There's a certain level of intensity towards the Empire and its people, but they aren't a problem ever, really. It's a general distaste, but not... There's no hatred here. We are not a people who are known for just going around and killing others. This is new.
I was not implying that, just,
I understand.
Town of dwarves, 1 human dies. Okay, sure. 2 humans die. That's odd. 3, that's concerning. 4, well, that's dramatic. And 5, it's a pattern. So...
You can see from the look on his face that he doesn't like the situation. That he doesn't want this place to be known as a place of hatred, that this is his home, and he cares for it deeply. He kind of looks up at you being several feet taller than him, Reginald, and he, with a kind of sorrowful look in his eyes, goes, I wish I could help more. I don't know.
Okay. Well, all I mean to say is that the faster this is dealt with, well, the better your town's reputation, huh?
That's what I'm hoping, and I'll do anything I can to help. You guys have free room as long as you're here. And as long as you don't get him killed, and he points to Varen.
I'm afraid that's going to be mostly up to him.
Varen lets loose a little chuckle. As if I'd die that easily.
Well, you certainly look like you're putting a lot of effort into it.
You're not wrong. And then he just flops back in his chair.
So you said this boy, Antoine, was it?
Yeah.
What do you know about him?
I mean, not much to be said. No parents. An orphan, runs around town. He's grown. He works. But he's no one special. He works over at one of the general stores, stocking. A place called Balance. I wouldn't suggest shopping there. But if you have some questions, he might be some help. At least in terms of finding out something about Antoine. Other than that, I guess you could ask the guard, but I don't deal with them.
What was the name of the general store?
Balance. Balin.
What's wrong with the store? The owner's
He looks up and with a keen eye he goes, "This place keeps people here in two ways. The giant doors that close most nights, and keeping a debt. There's a company that runs the mines here, Stoneclaw, that charges very highly for any goods that you might need. And that's how they keep most folk here for a lifetime or longer. Most families owe a small debt, some a large debt. Almost everyone works for them, excluding myself and a few others."
Lucky you. Okay.
Has everyone that's been killed been more or less no one special?
As far as I know, I don't know all the victims. I just know that word around town is it's 5 now. Like I said, it's not my place. Not much I can do about it. I don't know.
But nobody that you know of that was prominent.
No leaders of the humans here or anything.
So
Mostly
nobody.
just strangers in a strange place.
Okay, so let me sum a few things up. Victims were all humans. Oh, do you know how Antoine dies? Or is that just not something you know?
I mean, the rumors are he was beaten, but I don't know past that.
Okay. So they were all humans, all beaten to death. Do you know if Antoine... So Antoine worked at Balance, and Balance is, what, technically owned by Stoneclaw?
Yeah. Stoneclaw owns the shop, but Balin runs it.
Okay.
It's just a general store. It doesn't have any goods of great value or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're of great value here, but other places they wouldn't be worth much.
I understand. I'm just summing up the information we have in terms of, well, all the commonalities between the victims. So I suppose we'll have to talk to the captain, captain of the guard. That should be our next stop.
Yeah, I mean, you could find Rin. He's always around. Never much help, but he's here.
Do you know perhaps some of his men who might be a bit more useful?
No one... I don't talk to a lot of the guard. I know Rin by way of... And he nudges towards Varen. By way of him and his mistress. But I don't know Rin well. All I know is a good captain of the guard in a different town might have dealt with this problem before it became one so large. Either way, that's all I've got.
Thank you.
Okay, well, yes, thank you.
He just nods his head and then picks up his tankard and keeps drinking. Looks like he hasn't slept since you guys came in last night.
Have Mateo come down yet?
Mateo will come down like right about now. Just be like, oh. What time is it?
I don't know what time is it. I'd imagine sometime early morning.
Hard to tell. You're underground.
Underground,
Like,
You know what time
you
is
don't
it?
have a Caleb.
Right.
What time is it? I think it's time to fuck off.
Didn't even have breakfast yet.
You'll get. I throw him a slice of bacon.
Put it in your pocket. Let's go.
Oh no.
My pocket's all gonna get dirty.
Pocket
Come on.
bacon.
No.
It's fine. I mage-handed. It's not dirty. I'm not a savage. Jesus, whoever that is.
Your mage hand has been on this?
Yeah, my mage hand has been on it. It's better than my mage.
What else
dick.
has your
Come
mage
on.
hand been on? Yeah.
When did you last clean that thing?
Every time look, I resummon it and it's a hand and it's it's Mr. Clean, but it's a hand.
I think you're real reluctant to eat the bacon.
Okay.
That's
Right.
probably the only meal I'm gonna get. So what did we learn? I
Quite a
mean-
bit, and as we're walking, we'll fill him in.
Sorry.
Okay. And where are you headed? Are you headed to the general store?
I mean, I think probably head.
I'd like.
I'd like to go to the crime scene if I could. There's
Mm,
still
Okay.
one. I don't know if it's been
Well,
cleaned
I
up.
think we have no idea what that could be. So I think
Well, he
the
said it was a couple
direct-
blocks
the-
away.
Sure, I guess. I don't know. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather we go to the captain first. I don't want to get to the scene and then we're gonna make a scene because they don't know who we are, and then
As he says, I pull out the parchment. This
yeah,
should-
okay, but they're gonna be like, hey, what are you doing? Blah blah blah. Then we're gonna get into a scene. I'd rather just go to the captain, make ourselves known.
This should be fine. But, okay.
Aren't you supposed to be? Isn't the kobold supposed to be secretive and sneaky and shit? And you're just gonna slap him with your
necessarily.
parchment? I mean, if he wants, he can take your parchment. If he's pissed enough, he's gonna take it and rip it off. And then what are you gonna do, huh?
If you want to go to the captain first, we can.
I mean, okay, Mateo, you're a tiebreaker.
I would say let's go to the camp.
All right, let's go to the crime scene. I changed my mind.
I guess we'll go to
So, to the
whichever
crime
one's
scene.
closest.
The crime scene by far. You walk past the guardhouse towards the entrance of town. It's probably 5 or 6 blocks away, a fair distance, versus the crime scene he said was just a few doors down, basically.
Right.
As you all start making your way deeper into Druvenlode itself, pretty quickly you notice a heavy guard presence. And the most of the gear that they're wearing looks to be of a deep, almost copper color. The guards, they're all dwarven primarily. There are a few humans, but they're very interspersed. But the gear itself is distinctly different from the Crown's Guard that you're used to seeing. And there are a few Crown's Guard that you see, but not nearly as many as there are these Druvenlode Guard. As you walk up, one of the shorter figures in the mix stands up, and you see what looks to be a large leather hanging over one side of his armor that is printed and embellished and built finely into the armor looking much nicer than the others around him. He pretty quickly makes his way towards the group, and specifically towards Varen, who looks up and goes, "Hello, Ren. How can I help you? I guess you want to tell me something about that?" And he points down, and you can see the covered, but basically pretty bloody rags over this corpse. The guard removes his helmet and begins speaking. He says, "I assume a lot of you are being sent here to investigate. I received word from Rexentrum."
Yes, and then I'll show him the paper.
He takes a quick look of it, doesn't even take it from your hand, just looks at it and then nods. He goes, "All right. This was Antoine. He worked at Balin's, the general store," and he kind of points off in a direction towards where it would be. "Not much to be said about who he is. He's the 5th. The only strange thing I have, that I know of anyway, is one of the victims was a woman, an older woman. Most of them have been younger males, but the second victim was an older lady, found much deeper into the city than this.
Can you run us down from the beginning, perhaps?
Yeah.
What about the first victim?
He pretty quickly rattles off the few names that there are, but none of them seem to stand out in any way. They are all fairly average, early 20s-ish humans, all male, excluding the older lady that was found deeper in the city. There's not a lot to be found as he goes through each step. The only thing he can give you is that it's a multiple attacker thing. There's too many wounds from too many directions across the bodies for it to be a single person striking. Other than that, there's not a lot to be found from what he gives. He takes a moment, kind of breathing heavily, and goes, and he looks down at you, Ozzy, roughly down. You're almost the same height. He's a smaller man. He looks down at you and says, do you know if there's more people coming?
Not that I'm aware of. They just sent us.
You see a weight kind of lifted from his shoulders. He takes a moment and goes, rumor around town was that they were going to send a detachment from the army, and that would not go well right now. Tensions are high, and I don't want battle in the streets. I understand that these are 5 people, but I don't want my people dying for something that we can't all be cited for.
Excuse me. Sorry, Bacon. You're worried about who exactly?
I'm worried about the Empire sending a force here to deal with this problem. We are technically independent in most cases, and them having a large force here might lead to us no longer having our independence. The king seems a good man, but occasionally takes what he wants, and I don't want to be a part of that.
How many?
Did the other person say that Stoneclaw owns most here?
Yes.
Just
But you're independent.
Yeah, I just want to clarify. I wasn't told that they were sending any army, right? I don't
No.
recall. Okay.
You were warned by Zevran that they had considered sending a force.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that if you weren't quick with dealing with this matter, not exceptionally quick, but just generally
okay.
concise, it could be a thing that happened.
Okay.
And
remembered
when they
something about
also when they sent us, they were only 4 murders. Now there's 5. So
Right. Okay.
And it only took a few days to get here, so the timing of this murder is strange.
Right. Actually, that's something I'd like to ask the captain. By the way, the captain is dwarf, right?
Yes, a dwarven man named Rin,
So as you're
of smaller build than Varen or Krom.
Yeah.
As you're having this conversation.
Wait. The actual question I had was just
I fucking forgot it now.
right, the delay between, like, the time between kills.
Rin takes a moment and he says the first 2 murders were less than a day apart. The first victim and the older lady died within the same day. As best we can tell, we don't have any clerics to speak with them or to find out more. But the 3rd, 4th, and 5th were spaced fairly evenly, albeit Antoine's death today has the longest gap.
Which is what?
4 days.
4 days. Okay, so it's a 3 days. So we can expect another kill in 4 to 5 days.
If they keep to this pattern, yes.
Why wouldn't they? It's been working so far.
A fair point.
So, are all these kills in the same area?
They've been spread throughout town, most of them towards the entrance to the city. But as I said, there was one much deeper into the city.
Which one? The woman?
The older woman. She was very deep into the city, on the very outskirts of town, almost into the Underdark.
Mm.
I'm just gonna take a quick look at the body, see if I can see anything.
Rin
that-
just kind of nods his head and allows you to go towards it, moving some of his guards away.
Yeah.
Pat, I'm spitballing here, but do you know what time they were killed? Closer to night, evening, or
Time's a
morning?
hard thing here. Most of us don't leave town.
Right? Do you not keep time at all here? How do you cycle things?
Most people have a normal sleep schedule, the circadian rhythm and all that.
Okay, so how about
For most of us, it would have been late night, early morning when most people were found. So safe to assume it's happening after everyone goes to bed.
Okay. So what do you know about the older woman's occupation?
She was nobody. Quite literally this time.
But was she
She
working?
she
example,
didn't work.
She didn't work, and
She was an outsider.
what
Homeless.
about the males? Were they
Most
working?
of them had general jobs. A few were miners. As I said, Antoine worked at the general store as a stock. Other than that, the jobs don't really line up in any way. It's
I'm just trying to find a reason why the old one would be deeper in the city and the males would not.
I don't know. And you see, after you bring that point up, he's kind of like, maybe there was more to that. He takes a moment and he's like, we still have each of their bodies. I'm gonna have a few of my people take a closer look, unless one of you would like to come, or all of you.
Yes.
I don't know. At the time we didn't know this was going to be an ongoing thing. We thought it was a simple mistake, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people die in any town, but when we found her and the first victim, we didn't think this would be an ongoing thing. I guess take your time, look at him, pointing to Antoine, and I guess we'll go back to the guardhouse and take a look at the others.
Right.
They're not in great shape, but it might give us some insight.
You guys have a doctor that's examined the body or anything?
We have medical
Like
staff,
a
but
medical
no
examiner,
doctors.
essentially.
Right. Like they have what the point that he kind of brings up is there are people who are trained in medicine a little, but this is not a town that has like a nice doctor.
Gotcha.
This is a town that works you till you die, or
Right.
you're healthy and you make it through. Okay. You've also would have noticed coming through town, you're roughly a third of the way into what you would assume to be the length of the town. There's not any churches. There's no
clerics or anything.
Huge clerics. You don't see anything medical or religious iconography. It seems very function and nothing else.
Ozzy, what do you see on this body?
As I'm looking at the body, I want to find out if I can ascertain from like his injuries, one, what he was killed by, and two, are they taller or shorter? Like how tall the person was.
So where like where most of the attacks are received on his body?
Yeah, can I ascertain like the angle or something, like or were they hitting up? Or
Go ahead and roll medicine for me.
Okay. That's better than
I
investigation.
would say medicine. Medicine would probably be the best check for checking out a corpse.
9.
9?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I mean, the majority of the wounds are received lower chest and down. But there are a huge amount of damages to the head and upper body.
Well, I mean, you could probably just figure that out by after like I fell and then they were beating
Right.
down on him, but it was like trying to see if the person that hit him was dwarven or taller.
Safe to assume, but the body is so maimed that it's hard to tell with a medicine check of 9.
Right.
So, like, how many, like, if I were to make a count, how many wounds are there?
A lot.
A lot?
Like you'd probably run out of fingers and toes, and
Well,
then
luckily,
do that
I'm
2 or
smart
3
enough I
more
can count
times.
without using my
Like-
fingers. But
Like if you're counting, you'd probably lose count around 100 or so. This was a vicious act.
okay,
And it's
yeah.
safe to
The
assume
the
that-
limbs are
yeah.
shattered. The main thoracic cavity is destroyed. This body is maimed severely.
And the wounds are like, it's mostly blunt force, right? Is there any
Yeah.
blade or something? No blade at all?
There don't look to be any open wounds. I mean, this man is almost a sack of broken bone.
Yeah, it's like bruise and shit. Okay.
And there
Um,
isn't, I would say, there are a lot of pre-mortem, because of the 3 of you all being fairly intelligent characters, which is a nice thing, by the way. Thank you. Home game, not the same.
I mean,
Uh,
I mean,
Ooga
have average
booga, bro.
intelligence.
yeah, literally. But there are a lot of pre-mortem bruises, like very quickly received, like blood blisters and bruises. But there are a lot of damages that look to be post-mortem as well. So it doesn't look like this was a quick act. It doesn't look like they just suddenly jumped on him and bop, and then he was done. It looks like they stayed and finished the job.
And it
Hey,
does
I
look
just
like
wanna-
they actually did it here, and this is just where they dumped the body.
I mean, there is a mess of viscera along the walls and floor here.
Okay, so it happened here. Right? This isn't like a dumping site.
It doesn't look like they moved the body in any way.
Okay.
Okay. Last thing I want to check on the body, just like triple checking, is there any sort of like bite mark anywhere? Or something that would look like a.
Go ahead and roll
something-
investigation for me.
Okay, or something more natural like a claw or something like that. But like, I'm asking if there's been feeding or something.
Right.
Investigation.
As he's doing that, can I look to see if there's any kind of
Woo! 23.
nice,
23.
any kind of
Sick.
note
What
or
was that,
anything?
Ozzy?
Any kind of like note or anything was left? If anything has pockets.
Go ahead and roll investigation for me. For you, Reginald, after looking over the
Nine.
body pretty thoroughly, there are no feeding sites or wounds that don't match up to just bludgeoning, blunt force trauma. For you, Ozzy, no notes. There's no "we were here" from, or we know what you did last summer. Any of
Kind of,
that.
yeah. Gotcha.
It doesn't seem that there's a calling card left with any victims.
But has he been? His clothing, how is it?
I mean, the clothing is sundered, but not destroyed by way of like ripping it off of him.
All right, but I mean, more like in terms of quality.
Rough. I mean, it's not great clothing, but it's average enough.
And is there
Like
anything?
traveler's clothing.
Okay, and does he have anything on him?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Upon checking with a 23 investigation, you were checking for anything on this body. There is nothing in any of his pockets or anything like that.
Okay,
He
so
has been stripped clean of any belongings.
any conclusions, Ozzy?
Not that I can tell. Captain Wren, has there been any kind of I don't know, hate speech towards humans at all?
He takes a moment, carefully considering his options, and he's being very clear and deliberate on how he speaks on everything. He seems to be afraid of any repercussions that the Cobalt Soul might bring down on the city. And it's an easy read because he's not trying to hide anything.
Right.
He takes a moment, much like a politician would, and goes, there are always outliers in a group, bad apples and all that, but it's very rare here. This is not a normal thing. There are people with general distaste, but never something so extreme as this.
Nothing noteworthy at all that might have caused some
He-
people to be angry at humans. Or
He
the
kind of
Empire.
shrugs and he's like, not that I can think of. I mean, there's no more cause than usual for this to be happening. There's no There were no acts by humans that we know of that could have caused dwarves to be angry or vice versa. I mean, there's been no strange events other than these bodies turning up, and that's what makes this so hard to deal with. If it were a group that I knew of, I'd send the guard and deal with them as one does, but this is a strange happenstance.
Would
What about Stoneclaw?
He just kind of looks up confused. What about Stoneclaw?
they benefit from independence?
I think independence is what would keep them from going under. They, in the event of the Empire taking over, Stoneclaw might be pushed out of town in favor of mandatory mining and things like that. The Empire has needs, after all, but I don't see Stoneclaw having reason to do it. Not for lack of evil. They would do it to hurt more people, maybe, but I don't think this would gain anything.
There hasn't been any talk of any unrest and people not happy about Stoneclaw and how they're being treated.
There are plenty of people who hate Stoneclaw, but there's not much to be done about it. Stoneclaw isn't a human-run company. It's run by dwarves.
What about the vice versa? Humans not being happy with dwarves and Stoneclaw being ran by dwarves.
There are humans who do not like Stoneclaw and the situation that they're in, but not so much as to go after random other humans to make Stoneclaw look bad, I don't think.
So help me out here. If we're talking demographics, how would you say, how many humans are there in the city per 100 inhabitants?
25 or so?
1 in 5.
It's roughly 75-25. A quarter of the population being human.
That's sizable.
There are many humans here, but it is predominantly a dwarf place. And there are others. There are halflings and elves, but they're much fewer and farther between.
Right. But dwarves, you would say, are...
The vast majority, yes.
80, 70. Okay. Well, here's what I get. Really? We don't have much more to go on. Except we know I assume the second kill was a cover-up.
Bryn kind of looks at you with a strange eye. What makes you think that?
Because
she's the one that doesn't fit.
Well, either the second one's a cover-up or the first one. It depends on which. So you found the second one. Do you know for sure that the second victim was actually the second one? Because you said they were found the same day, but are you sure she died after?
No, I have no way of knowing. I'm just
a
captain of the guard.
Well, then that's your job to know that kind of things, or at least have an educated guess. Never mind. I don't blame you. I understand that you had no way of knowing this would get to this length.
Why don't we go look at the woman's body and see if there's
sure,
there's a
we can
difference.
walk and talk.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking is that they died within the same day, which does not fit she does not fit the pattern, and makes me think one of them is a cover-up for sure. Because after that, all the kills were separated by 3 to 4 days, and they always were targeting the same people. I mean, at least until we can disprove otherwise, one of them was a cover-up.
For sure,
I think it's a good guess.
For sure, this is multiple people, not just one.
Right. And there were way too many wounds, so this is likely motivated by something extreme: fear, hatred, anger, injustice, something like that. And the fact that were the other victims found with any possessions at all?
Everyone has been found stripped clean of all possession. The only reason we can identify is because they're known around town by someone. without fail, someone comes and identifies them. Or in some cases, like Antoine here, they're still vaguely recognizable.
So we can also assume that whoever killed them has material needs. I mean, everyone has material needs, but it doesn't mean that the kill was motivated by greed, but it does mean that they have needs that need to be met. So probably
Seems the
not
best
someone
bet.
who's well off, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
best not to rule anything out, but it's just it would make sense to me because these people, it doesn't look like they would have much of anything of value. So taking the time to take the little they have means probably that killer didn't have much either.
You're probably right. Should we go check on the other bodies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Specifically, the woman doesn't fit the pattern at this point.
Okay. After a short walk back towards the entrance, roughly 30 or so minutes, you make it to the guardhouse, which is most of the stone structures here are very uniform in their way of being built. They're pretty simple but functional with very little flair. The guardhouse, on the other hand, is a fairly large building, several stories that reaches up much higher than the average building here in Druvenlode. And it sits directly, if you're coming into Druvenlode, on the right as you enter. It sits right at the entrance so that they could possibly defend attacks or things like that. As he brings you inside, you see roughly 30 to 50 guards sitting in different places. It's a fairly large building, and there's a lot of them. He leads you downstairs, deeper into the building, and into basically like a cellar area. You notice that the air here is a fair bit colder, being as you're underground in the underground, so it is pretty cold. After some rummaging around, he finds a key at one of the desks and walks over to these small, maybe 3 foot by 3 foot doors that are on the wall that line the whole wall at about 3 foot up or so. He unlocks one and pulls out a small grate of metal that slides across the stone. And before you see an older woman. If one of you or all of you would like to make medicine checks or investigation, whichever depending on what you're looking for.
I'm just looking to see what the difference is between the wounds, if there's any, if I can,
Okay.
between her and Antoine.
Go ahead and roll medicine.
Nope. I got nothing. That's a 3.
Well, a 3.
won't-
Nice.
Hmm.
Looks about the same, bud. Good old Ozzy.
I don't know. I guess I want to maybe. I mean, it's probably not going to tell me anything, but like any hints on her body that might hint at what her occupation used to be. Because, like, I mean, people say she was homeless, but maybe she used to do something. Maybe I can tell by how used her hand were, stuff like that.
Yeah, checking calluses and things like that. Go ahead and I would say either roll medicine or investigation. They both apply here.
Okay, that's 15.
With a 15, after a short time looking, you do notice that her hands are fairly calloused. On the inside, on the palms, as if she worked with them for some years. But the calluses are diminished. They don't look fresh. They don't look like they have multiple layers that are brand new. So this is probably a fair time ago that she did whatever she did. Other than that, I mean, it's hard to tell what is old wear and tear and what is new damage. You would notice with a roll that high that most of the wounds didn't bruise. So she was more than likely dead when she received most of the damage to her body. Most of them were post-mortem.
Doesn't make any sense.
The only one that would draw direct attention would be there's a strike at the back of her head that has bruising as if it was pre-mortem. A single strike.
And what about Antoine? Was it the same for him? That
No.
wasn't the same, right? It was, yeah.
For Antoine, most of his wounds that were bruised were lower on his body. and most of the ones that were post-mortem, not bruised and not swollen, were on the upper body.
Okay, well, I think I changed my mind then.
What exactly did? What? So you don't think it's because they found out something that they weren't supposed to?
Well, no, I still think that, but I think maybe this is not connected. I think maybe someone killed her, and then was like, ah, fuck, I killed her. And then I'm gonna cover it up by, hitting her a lot because you just heard that some of the human died before the same day, a few hours ago. And so they just beat her after she was dead to make it look like, I mean, it's just a theory, right? So it's either that or the cover, I think.
Could I check if they left anything behind here, by chance?
On her body?
Yeah, and in the vicinity.
I mean, you're not where she was found, so there's not a lot to be found in the vicinity.
Yeah.
But on the person, you don't seem to find anything. She's still clothed in the clothes that were on her when they found her, but other than that, pockets empty, nothing on her person.
Okay.
So that
I guess
doesn't
that-
teach us much.
Can I take a look at the first victim? And then
Yeah.
can I just, I don't know, possibly tell between her and the first victim who was killed first?
It'd be a pretty high DC, but you could roll medicine for that. I mean, seeing the age of a corpse on a basically
15.
rotting corpse is hard.
I don't know if that's high enough, but yeah.
After Rin opens the door to the left and pulls that body out, you look at them both, and they're in similar points of decompose. They're not. They're pretty alike, and it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's been more than a week, right?
Yeah, it's been close to 2 almost.
Did she have any family or any known enemies or anything?
Rin, who the whole time you guys have been dealing with these bodies, Rin has had his back to it, like he doesn't like looking at them. Turns back towards you, still keeping line of sight as best he can away from the corpses. Looks at you, Ozzy, and goes, "No, she is mostly an unknown, a drifter, if you will. We don't know much about her. She was here. People have seen her around in bars, but no one knows who she is or knows what she used to do."
And where did she get money from to be in bars?
I don't know.
Things? Don't know. You think she was stealing?
I mean, it's a possibility. Many do it.
Hmm.
And usually it's the ones you least expect, children and the elderly, so it's a safe bet, but I don't know.
That's the one you most expect.
For someone like you, perhaps.
So out of all the victims, she's the one you know the least about?
Yes. Everyone else, without going into too much detail, everyone else that's been found is of meager living,
Right.
lower class, working individuals.
They live and work here.
Live and work
But
here,
she-
are known by 1 or 2 people, but
Right.
she is just Jane Doe.
Yeah.
No one has a clue.
Right.
Rin, after standing for a moment in the awkward silence,
No. Do you know where she lived? We should check that out.
I have no idea where she lived. As I said,
No clue at all?
there are abandoned houses
Where was
towards
she
the
found?
newer end of town, but deep. I can take you there.
And there was nowhere near that looked like somewhere
There-
she could stay.
There are plenty of abandoned houses, but
Eh.
they're not. None of them are known to host the unloved. I don't know. I can lead you to where we found her, and you could take a look around yourself, but with things
Yeah.
being as they are, I have other business to attend to.
Do you guys think that's worth it? Looking for where she lived? Maybe we can find some of her possessions. I don't know. I
Did
mean,
she have a
seems like a...
specific place where she hung out that you know of, like the bars that she would at?
I guess that's that.
Rin takes a moment, actually pulling out a small leather-bound journal that he
Because
has,
I don't think she actually
flipping
lived here.
through.
I think she was just passing through.
Um,
Yeah, I think so.
after looking through, he roughly points out a few different taverns, or not even really taverns, more than just drinking places that are just really, really shitty dive bars deeper into the town. Other than that, no one, I mean, everyone says they've seen her around, but no one can give any detail on this person. It's as if she was never important to anyone here, and so no one's ever identified her or told any details on her life or knows anything about her.
How long has she been there?
He looks back through and after a short time says the first time she was seen, according to witnesses anyway, was about 6 months ago. She's been here a while.
Oh, so she has been here more than 6 months. Well, more than.
But
Okay.
there again, I don't know how much is true and how much is hearsay.
Well, 6 months is a long time for a
Yeah.
drifter.
Right.
I agree.
That's not drifting anymore.
But this is a town that racks up debt, even if you don't work for Stoneclaw. If you need food here, it is expensive. If you need drink here, it's expensive. It's not a place for your average person, so maybe she had accrued a debt. I don't know. She could have been working for someone.
Who was it that was able to identify her? Like, did they know her name?
No one knew her name. The only person that gave any identifying news, at least the 6 months thing, was one of the barkeeps at the tavern, but he wasn't much help. He just said he had seen her here. He said he thought it was about 6 months. I don't know. He seemed maybe to know by look more than anything. You know, she was no regular by any means, but someone who at least was seen around a few times.
Okay. Out of character, are the other bodies there?
Everybody except
um,
Antoine's is there, and Antoine's will be there soon.
So Reginald just wants to look at the other three and just look for inconsistencies. Basically, he's gonna look for, wounds and like everything that matches Antoine's and everything that doesn't match.
Go
with
ahead
Antoine
and
the old lady.
Go ahead and roll medicine for me.
Okay. Yikes. 7.
After looking, the only glaring inconsistency you can find is the old lady's fresher wound to the back of her head.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say fresher. It's the only wound on her person that looks like it was pre-mortem before she died. So
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, all of them look similar levels of beat.
There been any how do you call it? Like any fights or something between humans and some other group before this all happened?
Rin
No.
looks over at you and no. There's not been any recent goings on that would explain this. Otherwise, I'd have dealt with it myself before it became a Empire issue. And he kind of looks towards Ozzy.
How many
And no
people?
new people coming in, right? Lately, other than us.
There are some, but not many. Mostly workers on contract for Stoneclaw.
So, how big is Druvenlode? I mean, how many people live there? You know? You have a census or something?
The Empire doesn't run a census here, but if it was up to me, I'd say roughly 3,000 people, 4,000.
Okay, it's not very big.
It's not a massive city, but it's not small either.
So, I'm thinking people would just go and beat someone, well, not someone, but 5 different people bloody this way. That must leave some marks, right? On your fists, I mean. You know, if you hit someone hard enough to break bones, you're gonna...
Not unless they use
Yes.
There's
a
gonna be
weapon.
marks. Oh, like what?
Club?
Like a glove? Wouldn't that defeat the purpose, though?
I mean, I used to beat people with a stick.
That's true. Could the wounds...
Fuck you, Ozzy. I was
Could
all in character and good, and that really got me. Oh,
Could the wounds have been sustained by like a blunt force weapon,
Absolutely.
like a mace, like a mace? Yeah.
I mean, mace is a little much. Maces would cause tearing and things like that, but and a club or something like that, yeah, it is
Big
totally
wooden
doable.
stick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely rough-hewn weapons, nothing forged metal, because forged metal will
It would break. Yeah.
break and tear
There.
bone and sinew.
Okay. Okay, never mind then. But I was thinking maybe you have fighting circles in Druvenlode, to pass the time after work.
Rin
Something
kind
like
of. There might be a few. I'm not a tavern goer. I don't know. I'm a. And he just the chuckle is like on the verge of tears. Like, this man just does not like this situation. He's so uncomfortable. When I'm not
said something about the fighting pits. Can I insight check to see if he's
absolutely.
trying to hide that maybe we don't want to talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead and roll insight.
6.
He
This dice is
seems
about
pretty
to go
honest.
away.
The opposite of a golden snitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he seems pretty honest. He seems like it's a possibility, but he doesn't know of any, and he's never broken up any. But what he was going to say is I don't tend to go looking for trouble. I am the captain of the guard, but I don't. This isn't a town that's known for its crime by any means of the word. This is a strange going on that, quite frankly, scares me. I have a family, and I would hate to be the first victim that isn't a human, as bad as
Look.
that sounds.
We get it. Really, we do. We're not saying dwarves have done this, though it's probable considering you understand, there's mostly dwarves in the city, so it's probable. We're not even saying this is a hate crime, even though it looks like it. But you can admit that clearly this was motivated by hatred of these people, not because they're human, maybe, but because of these people represent something. But we gotta figure out what it is.
Yes, I mean, I agree. There's too many coincidences to tell you that it's not motivated by hate of some kind, but I don't know what the hate is if it isn't, based on race. I want it dealt with, but I don't want to die for it,
Oh, I get it. Well, at the rate this is going, I mean, in a year, you'll have 100 less humans in town, so, I'm sure we'll get the murderer in about 20 to 30 years.
Go ahead and roll intimidation for me, Reginald.
Oh, this ain't good. Ah, fuck. 18 minus 2, 16.
Hey, that's pretty sick.
It's not bad.
You see the facade of, not even a facade, more than you see the look on his face harden for a moment at the thought of losing so many people because of his inactivity, his fear. And he hardens against the thought of losing that many people over it. You know what? Things can wait. Let's go check out where we found the old lady, huh? I don't want to die for it, but they don't deserve death either. So I think a lot of us have a better chance than the idiots that sit around here playing cards. And as he says that, a few people sitting around in the actual lower sub-basement area start quietly picking up their shit and putting it away and acting busy.
As they're doing
Oh,
that,
game nerds.
as he's doing that, I'm like, he was bluffing. just pointing like a random guy.
But yeah, he seems willing to lead you to where the old lady's corpse was found deeper in the city.
Right,
Nice rolls, Reginald.
Yeah.
When you said fuck, I thought it was going to be like a 2, and then you said 18 minus 2, and I was like, fuck!
Yeah, because I didn't expect to actually, roll well. I mean, mostly I said fuck when I glanced at my modifier. I was like,
So do you all head towards that location then, where the old lady was found?
No,
Yeah.
I want to go back to Rex Infirmary.
We can do that.
no. Oh, what does Varen think?
Yeah, I had that question too. As we're walking, I'll just ask him.
As you're walking towards the crime scene, do I sound okay? Sorry, I'm having connection issues, I think.
No, you're
You
good.
sound
You sound
fine.
good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
As you're walking, Varen, who's been fairly quiet so far, he
Mhm.
seems kind of lost in thought. He finally looks up and he goes, honestly, I don't know this town as well as I thought I did. This isn't the place I left, so
What changed?
obviously some distaste. When I left, this place was working town, but not a town where people go to die. As someone who lived here for a lot of years, I don't know what changed, but something has.
Thanks,
This place doesn't even feel the same. The people are scared. The fucking guard's scared, and he gestures towards Rin as you're walking.
But that makes sense if people are dying randomly for two. It's been 2 weeks. 5 people have died. It makes sense, no?
I mean, I understand being scared, but the people here, this is a community. These people used to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up here, growing up here, and you can tell he's hesitant to give up pieces of his past, but he has to because he wants to help this job get over with. Varen, going on with what he was saying, basically, this town was a community. We watched out for one another. There was no bias. There were humans and dwarves. Everyone lived together. There was no fighting. Well, there was fighting, but not the harmful type. It's weird seeing your hometown turn into a war zone. I don't know.
Actually,
What?
In the past at least, did humans used to congregate together?
Not that I knew of. I mean, there's not a lot of. I mean, people
So
get
they
together
didn't.
and have a good
Just-
time, but
It's a yes or no question.
no, not that I knew
Okay.
of.
Then Reginald then turns to Captain Wren. Do humans congregate now in the last 2 weeks? Do they seem to get together more compared to staying with who they know and dwarves in specific?
There aren't a lot of get-togethers at all right now. I mean,
Why not?
everyone stays at home for fear of being, at least in terms of the humans, they mostly stay home for fear of being the next victim. There's not a lot of going outside. People are
Okay.
missing work even.
But they don't. So they don't live in the same neighborhoods at all.
There are neighborhoods that are predominantly one or the other, but there's not been gatherings of any kind for either race and since the beginning of these killings for fear of, being picked.
No, I was just thinking maybe we could find a bank of humans we could talk to, and maybe they would have another story to tell.
Rin takes a moment. I mean, we could go door to door, but
Eh.
I don't know how much help they'd be.
Yeah, well, that's why I was hoping we could find them in a neat and tight group.
After roughly an hour of walking, you guys have made it deep enough to where you can no longer see outside light. The city streets, the carved stone streets, are lit by lanterns every block or so. Fairly large lanterns that stand fairly tall. But the general air in this area is a lot less open and free. It's oppressive being underground and being this deep in a city. Especially when there's no change in scenery. It's building after building, looking nearly the same, but the roads get darker, the sounds get quieter, and there doesn't seem to be any wildlife. eventually, as you're walking, he cuts off the main road and into an alleyway fairly deep into the city. And the alleyway is fairly clean. There's, a few barrels, what looks like a mostly emptied, like, garbage can almost. But it doesn't look like there's a lot here. In fact, there doesn't even look to be what would have been a crime scene just a few weeks ago. It looks clean-ish. He turns to the group, and this is where we found her. I don't know. I mean, in general, this area's got a lot less people in it than the front of the city, but this is about how it was when I saw it.
Mm. Okay. Well,
What in particular are you guys looking for in this alleyway?
I'm just looking like Reginald is just looking for somewhere she could have, been hunkering down. Somewhere she could have been living. Like either an abandoned house she was squatting in, something like that. And I'm hoping to maybe find some, whatever information on what she was doing here for 6 months.
Okay. Go ahead and roll investigation or perception, depending on the scale of your search. If you're looking in general in this area, across around the block roughly, or if you're just looking in directly here, this alley.
I would say it's more of a broad search.
Okay.
Because the alleyways, well, yeah. Oh, yikes. That's a 2, that's a 6.
Oh. My headphones are being super weird, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
After a short time looking, you don't find a whole lot. I mean, there are a few places that look like maybe where somebody might sleep, like some rough little shanties in different alleyways, but no one is in any of the abodes. The city streets are fairly empty here, other than, trash and gatherings of objects.
Okay.
What's your passive perception, Reginald?
12.
And you rolled a 6 for active?
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's about all.
Well, what do you guys think? I can't really figure this one out.
I think, considering, well, if what you say is true, and the old woman was an outlier, and most people, seem to die near the entrance or get caught or whatever near the entrance. This might sound a bit weird or bad, but, and hear me out, what if we use human bait?
Well, I don't look human. Ozzy doesn't look human.
One that looks closest to people.
You mean I have to be debated?
I mean, the other one came up with the idea.
You hear Varen chuckling under his breath towards the back of the group. I think it's a great idea.
Don't
But I mean,
let me die.
still have a couple days, right, for the next one.
Indeed, yes.
Wait, well, when was Antoine discovered? Today, right? Just a few hours ago?
Rin pipes up this morning.
Yeah, I guess
And we're
for 3
sure
to
it
4
happened
days.
last night, so
Yeah, I guess. Hmm. Well, I mean, if you have 3 to 4 days, we can get you some proper digs. Maybe we can find you some work. And Yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. And in the meantime, we can, do some, keep looking for things, digging a bit into this, and, if you turn up dead, well, we've made some progress, right?
I think I can make sure that he doesn't have debt. Yeah. Fine.
I mean, I don't know. What was your idea? How do you want to bake it exactly?
I guess just hang out in the place that usually the bodies are found,
Wouldn't that be a bit
or somewhere
suspicious,
near
though?
the entrance.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
where any bodies, any of the 4 victims found? I mean, okay, sure, they were found near the entrance, but they were found anywhere near each other?
No, they
Yeah,
were
right.
blocks apart.
Yeah, because, if you die somewhere, probably people are not going to take the route if they can avoid it, right? So we still need you to go somewhere where there hasn't been a crime, otherwise it looks too obvious, right?
Is there a bar or tavern in that area?
There are plenty, yeah. I mean, there's Crom's Rest and a few others.
Right. So,
Antoine was found fairly close to Crom's Rest, but not
right.
not like right next door or outside of it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm up for it. Keep a
I only
look on
serve
it.
a few days, I guess.
What do you think, Captain?
Rin has been sitting kind of quietly after the proposal of the idea goes, I mean, if it's one of you, I don't see a particular issue with it. You seem capable enough.
I mean, there's
Wait,
there's no guarantee that he'll be the one that's the victim, but
Right.
at least
But
we can.
maybe if you're the
Oh.
easiest option, you'll get chosen.
Which means you
I
have
don't
to
know
get
what I
drunk.
can do to help. Because if there's a guard presence, then more than likely they won't come.
3 of us.
I would
4 of us
say
would be able to handle it, I think.
I think that's for the best.
I mean, can't you lend us some of your boys without the uniforms?
I
They're
could, but
probably recognizable.
Really?
if
Even
it's someone
out
that
of you.
lives here,
How many guards do you have?
roughly 100.
Right. Do you think people living here know every face of your guys? That seems unlikely.
It's a fair point. I guess if you can set up a place, I could free up a lodging nearby to keep some guard in. Hopefully they could come running if things go sour.
Oh, I can arrange that.
Well, when you find a place, come find me. Until then, I have a family to go tell about a dead kid. And he just kind of dips his head towards the group and starts walking back towards the entrance of Druvenlode. Varen looks up at everyone and goes, can't say it's my favorite idea. I did guarantee your safety and all that. But
Have a better plan?
I guess we'll see.
Wait, can't you just... I mean, considering you're kind of the most strongest person here, can't you, disguise yourself so that it's a safer plan?
He kind of flourishes with the shield and hammer that you've seen and goes, I'm about 1.5 feet too short.
Yeah.
Can't do much about that. And I'm not exactly the magical type, so I can't really just go changing my face.
All right.
Unfortunately for you, you're the best option.
Can only blame yourself for that one.
It's a great idea, though. It's going to be real fun. Blood and guts everywhere.
Yeah, maybe not.
Mateo, if you would, roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
And you use
22.
22. Holy shit. Okay.
At least some
You
people
feel
are
that
rolling.
familiar, right, on the shit that's like, whatever, okay. You feel that grasp again, This time clearly not from your sleep. And much more focused. But you feel it rescind fairly quickly from your mind.
You okay there?
Yeah, just headache? Headache indeed, yes.
You feel a flicker of movement behind one of your eyes.
Okay.
My eyes. It's the light in here, I think.
Yeah, the lighting's pretty shitty, I gotta say.
Uh,
Do they have a city planner, you think? How does this work?
Hey, Rick. I have a question.
Isn't he gone?
He's gone.
Yeah,
right.
Rin's already left.
All right.
You're
Maybe
losing your
we
mind?
should get back. Yeah, my mind is. Right. Yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm fine. And I'll look with wearying eyes a little bit and just shake it off. Completely
Yep.
fine.
Nice
Yeah,
rolls.
Yeah, that's usually what people say when they're fine. They say it 3 times in succession.
Yeah, that means I'm extra fine.
Okay. I believe you. Okay, so what do we want to do for the next 3 days? I mean, we're gonna, get you
Need to-
some actual, clothes.
Figure out how to make him the easiest target.
Well, yeah. So we're gonna need some clothes first. Make him look the part. With the. I mean, what were the other guys wearing? Like workers' clothes, miners' clothes, or like not miners necessarily. Just lower class clothes. We can find that, right?
Pretty easily.
And well, want to save money, I pull out one of my darts. I could just make his clothes look that way, and I cut one of the shirt.
Threaded clothing.
We should probably just go and buy some.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you all travel back towards the entrance to town? To the more populated areas?
Yeah.
Probably head
As you're
towards
walking,
the general balance general store.
yeah. As you're walking, you do notice one building that looks different than the others. It's fairly large, roughly triple the size of a normal home here in Druvenlode. It looks like it's 2 stories instead of 1, and the stone carving on the outside, the way that because the buildings are made of stone here, the stone carving is more ornate in its appearance. The corners of the building look like pillars that have been almost beautifully carved, but the building itself looks rough. It looks worn down, unlived in. The light that should be lit near the front of it that you would expect to see isn't lit. There is no light coming from within the building, but it is a fairly large and nice home to be sitting so dilapidated and cold. It just catches your eye. It's a strange sight seeing one of the few bigger buildings here look unused.
So as we're passing by, I'll just, hey, Baron, do you know lives in that one? Kind of.
He lets loose a little chuckle. He's like, nobody lives there. It's there's an old story that everybody in town tells their kids. Stay away from that house. It's haunted, they say. Never believed it myself. Went in once, probably 20 years ago or so. Nothing inside. It was pretty boring.
Oh.
Okay. There isn't a library here, right?
Like one of your libraries?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing like that here. So, as you all head towards Balance General Store, You make it back towards the center of town, and as you're passing by, you notice that the spot where Antoine was has been cleaned up a fair bit. There's still a mess to be cleaned eventually, but the body itself is gone, and some of the, detritus from said body has been picked up and moved and cleaned. Eventually, you arrive at the general store with the help of Varen, who pretty quickly gets you inside. As you get inside, the inside is ornate and nice. There's actually a wood floor here laid on top of the stone. The interior is well lit and clean, and you see a general smattering of goods that you might need living here, food stores and things like that, clothing. As you all enter, you see a small, older dwarf man with a white beard, who looks up and goes, "Hello. How can I help you? Welcome to Balance."
Hello.
Hi.
Howdy.
We need clothes.
What you've got on is fairly nice, but if you just need
Work
average
clothes.
clothing,
we're looking to downgrade, yes.
Or like
okay.
work clothes.
He pretty quickly goes to the back and finds an outfit pretty easily for you, Ozzy.
Oh, no,
It's
I
just
meant for
rough
him,
hewn.
and
Oh.
points to Mateo.
He turns back around and after a small bit of searching, finds an outfit that it's going to be a little tight, but it'll fit. It looks a little weird on you. It's not meant for someone quite your size, but it's close enough.
Yeah, I don't think these clothes are gonna work. I mean, I look plain, like really plain.
That's the point.
No. I mean, like with my pale skin, just. Are you sure?
Am I sure of what?
Is it gonna work?
It clashes with my eyes.
I mean, look, I don't think they're looking. They're not. They're not going to be looking to bang you, okay? They're looking. I mean, they're going to bang you, but not like that. Okay?
I mean, judging by the damage, they might be looking to bang him.
That's what I mean. Not like that. You know, they're going to bang you on the head, so they don't care what you're wearing.
Alan looks up with kind of confused eyes and goes, well, I'm not one to intrude, but what are you planning on doing?
So,
The less you
tell
know,
us
the
about
better.
He
How about
looks
you?
down at you a little bit, Ozzy, and is like weirded out by that.
How about you tell us a little about Antoine?
Oh, and you could see like sadness at his face. He goes, he was a kind boy, but bad things happen. I don't know what to say.
Was he embroiled in any suspicious activity? Any
Not that I
friends?
know of. He had a few friends, mostly hang out over at the bars, but no one he could have gotten in trouble with. Not enough to be killed, anyway.
Well,
No
You're wrong,
outstanding gambling
obviously.
debts? Or anything?
He didn't really, and you could see from the look on his face, kid didn't have the money to gamble. Like Balin is a keen businessman, and he goes, the boy didn't make that much here. There wouldn't have been much gambling to be done. On the other hand, in terms of money, that outfit's 2 gold.
You go for this?
I'll pay for it.
You just hand him the gold, Reginald?
Yeah.
All right.
Richard,
Thank
are you
you,
sure
Kyle.
that's a rip? I mean, they're
So,
nice clothes, I guess.
As I give him the gold, were you underpaying, Antoine?
I don't underpay per se, but I pay what's fair, and I ask what's fair for a good, fine set of goods. Mostly. Ish.
Is he like PR speeching me? Yes, I'm underpaying him, but not really.
Yeah, kind of. He's bullshitting you right to your face, and he's not being subtle about it. He's just service with a smile and a knife at your back is the best way to describe Balin. Like, it's pretty clear what kind of person he is. Gold above all else. So is there anything else I can help you with, or can I get back to what I was doing before?
Yeah. Come on over here for a bit. I want to take him to the side.
Who are you taking to the side?
The store clerk that gave me the
Okay.
glaze. Do you know any people that know magic?
No one in particular. Not here in town.
Passive perception of 11. See if I
Yeah.
can listen in.
If you can listen in,
Yeah.
you'd hear him. He's not being quiet. Like Mateo might be trying to be quiet, but
Right.
Balin has about one tone, and it's fairly loud.
Right.
He goes, no magic users that I know of. There was... Well, for a gold, I'll tell you.
I'll give him a gold.
Okay. You can go ahead and mark that off.
Yeah.
He, after
Who's
the
getting
gold hits his
scammed now?
palm, smiles and goes, there was a bard here in town about 2 weeks ago, but I think he left, went by the name of Jory. Saw him over at Crumbs.
No, the kind I was looking for. What about research?
Do what?
Researchers. You know, people that research stuff, strange things.
There's not a lot of strange happenstance here. People don't tend to peruse magic or magical items. Most people can barely pay for their own clothes, you see. Unlike your fine selves, he says loudly into the room. The people are a bit poor to be playing at magic. Most of them work or drink, and that's about it.
And what do you know about the strange happenings lately? I mean, you lost your boy.
He wasn't my boy. He was a worker, and a damn fine one at that. But not much to be said. I mean, I don't know who's doing it. I just have to hope that I'm not next.
All right. Oh, yeah, well, pleasure doing business with you. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. If you've more
Hello.
gold to give, come right on back.
And
Does he
I'll,
seem... Sorry to interrupt. Does he seem genuinely, like, making light of the situation? Or is he genuinely not scared at all?
Go ahead and roll insight for me.
Quick DM question.
Yep.
The bard was here 2 weeks ago,
Roughly 2 weeks ago is what he said.
which is roughly the same time the murder started.
Roughly.
17.
With a 17, he doesn't... He's putting up the front that he cared about Antoine, and that he's scared of the situation. He really doesn't give two shits either way. As long as his gold's in his pocket, it's not his problem.
Yep.
Right. So, we don't have a plan B, do we?
Varen, standing at the back of the group, quietly goes, I'm pretty sure plan B is just this, and he holds up the hammer.
Well, we can use the next few days to look around a little, maybe canvass the bars, maybe talk to the families, or at least talk to the captain and see what the families have to say. That's all I've got, honestly, right now.
Okay, just clarifying. The bard left 2 weeks ago? Or was
Goddamn
here
dude.
2 weeks ago?
Balin said that he saw a bard in town 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
That was all.
Okay.
There was no he left or he came. He saw a bard in town 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Ozzy.
Yeah. Just making sure.
His social security number is...
Insight on that?
Do you need a board and like pins and threads to connect.
He's gonna have the
everything.
whole conspiracy theory board, and he still won't figure out the whole secret.
Probably not.
Okay. So
Balin walks back behind the bar and just starts quietly counting coins, kind of flipping the 3 in his hand.
So we didn't really learn much.
that's
Yeah.
true.
What do you
Mostly
need magic for?
I figured maybe since they didn't leave any traces, maybe they left magical traces, and we could find something out. And generally, people that know of magic tend to be more well informed.
But he can do magic, according to Reginald.
Well,
mean-
you can do magic as well. Pointing
can't
to Mateo.
But I can't detect them.
Oh, you can't? I mean, that's pretty basic. Why can't you?
I think my magic is a bit different from yours.
Sure. Okay. That's a weak defense.
I mean,
Okay. So where are we at then? What are we doing?
You're standing in Balin's general store,
Yeah.
quietly talking amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we should probably leave actually. Have a talk. So yeah, I think the plan right now is to. I guess the problem is we don't know how they select the victim, right? Do they don't just go out at night in a group and then see, oh look, a human, let's beat him up, right? That makes little sense to me.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, we're still assuming that it's people who did this, but maybe it's not. I mean, I don't think it's not people. I just think
Bards can charm people, yeah.
no, bards
bard-
just sing. That's what they do. The bard is just someone who sings and tells stories. That's all.
didn't the bard leave already?
What bard?
The bard that the guy told us about.
I don't know
Well,
that.
What about him?
Well, he's the only magic user in town, apparently.
What? Who said he was a magic user? They just said bard. The fuck are you talking about?
All right, so let me put this in another way. You can sense magic.
Sure.
Why not try and sense magic around the people that died so that you know or can know, what
Magic
happened?
doesn't exactly leave residue. I mean, they've been beaten to shit. There's nothing magical about that. I mean, if you want, I can go and check it. Sure. But there's
Yeah.
nothing magical about that. And even
Well,
then,
you said, didn't you
like,
say something magical might have done it? Or
Yeah.
non-human?
yeah, sure. I mean, I'm just saying it's possible. I'm not saying it's the case. Just saying it's possible that something more mindless was at work. I'm not saying that's what happened, but sure, I can cover all the bases, and I'll sure. Let's go to the barracks and to the morgue and whatnot, and I'll check it out. Sure. So generally, even if I were to use magic right now here, if I wait a day, there will be nothing left. You know what I mean? In terms of residue, this shit goes poof. But sure, I'll check. So I guess next up, I'll go back to the morgue and cast detect magic. See
Okay.
what I get.
So, are you casting it across all the bodies? What are you planning on doing?
I mean, detect magic lasts for 10 minutes, and it's a radius around me. So
Okay. After casting it, you would notice not a fairly strong, but it is there, small amount of enchantment magic.
enchantment. Well, that's interesting.
What is?
Enchantment.
So you did find magic.
Uh-huh.
So I also
And
have.
though. So wait, so there's traces of enchantment, you say, but can I somehow get a feel of, like, is there more traces on Antoine, for example, and less on the first victim? You know, is it
Yes.
gradual?
It's very, very little on the older victims, and Antoine has by far the strongest amount of enchantment on him.
You share that?
You asking me?
No, I was asking Reginald.
Am I sure of what?
Don't question me, I'm God.
Are you sharing that you sense the
Yeah,
magical?
well,
Okay.
I said it's enchantment, yeah.
Okay.
So enchantment means
Maybe they were charmed. Make an easier target.
could be.
Oh, great. I'm going to be
But
charmed
why?
and beaten to death. And it's going to be great because I won't know that I'm beaten to death because I'll be charmed.
People will be looking at you,
I
don't
won't
worry
even
about.
be able to warn you people that I'm being kidnapped and beaten to death.
Mhm.
Worst case, they'll charm me in a way that I actually might enjoy it because they're sick.
They still have fun.
Wait. They're
That kind
gone
of
on
Friday night.
Well, this makes me think it's this makes me think that it's not people. Because if you're gonna beat someone to this, why would you charm them first?
Make them an
Right.
easier target so they don't fight you back.
I mean, they're gonna fight you back. Charming someone doesn't make them. Like, if you punch them in the face, they're gonna punch you back. I mean, I guess it depends on the power of the charm. Can I ascertain? Can Reginald ascertain the power, like the general power of the charm spell on the most recent victim?
It's not of immense power. It is within grasp for you. It is not like a god level spell or anything is clinging to this this person's form.
Mm.
It is an understandable, if a little weakened, form of
Okay.
enchantment.
And just to be clear, all these guys, all the males, were found in alleyways, yeah?
Hmm. Almost
kind of
everyone has
were-
been found in alleyways.
Yeah.
Well, literally everyone, not almost.
Okay.
Except for the woman
Well-
who was found further deeper into the city.
Deeper in, but still in an alleyway, yeah.
And does she have enchantment as well?
No.
Well, that makes sense.
Think
So
she was the actual target to begin with.
no, I still think either she was something that happened on impulse, which is why there's no charm because there was no premeditation, or no, long-term premeditation. So, they didn't have time. And also, she got killed somewhere where there weren't any people anyway, so she didn't need to be charmed because they were already somewhere isolated. Whereas for the males, they needed to be charmed to be pulled away from prying eyes and then killed. The thing that I don't understand is that, I mean, you're pulling them in an alleyway, but then you're gonna beat them for several minutes, right? Like, I mean, I would say at least 2 minutes, right? Because they've been beaten pretty fucking thoroughly, right? So that would attract attention anyway.
What if it's a portal thing like our friend here does? And I'll point to Akron.
Varen goes, I mean, mine's a trick, kind of. And he holds up a hand, and one ring has this kind of deep purple stone on it. Again, not really a spellcaster. Couldn't tell you much about it.
Oh, I'll start to try.
Well, in any case, enchantment. So we know that. We know that you can get charmed. That doesn't help us very much, does it? But it's a piece of the puzzle, I suppose.
Guess we just wait until it's time to set the trap.
I think so. I mean, I think we should be setting the trap every night.
Okay. Well,
Um,
we're probably looking what, mid-afternoon.
Yeah, probably early evening. Yeah, with all the time you've taken going back and forth between.
Yeah. Let's maybe go get some herbs, something to eat. Maybe find a good spot to set the trap up.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to this more and more.
Well, you suggested it.
Be fine.
I hope you have good legs on you because you're going to be walking a bunch.
Boy.
So you all head
Okay.
back to Crom's Rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Upon arriving back, there are less people here than there were in the morning. With it being about midday or late or early evening, late midday, seems like more people are out doing what they need to do. And as you get inside, Crom is asleep behind the bar. As you all walk in, not a lot going on inside. It is warm. There is a fire going. Yeah, you're free to do as you will for the evening. Whatever you're planning or plotting.
I'll go wake up Crom.
Yeah, what's up? And he kind of, as he realizes it's you, he's like, yeah, sorry.
It's okay. We get something to eat, drink.
Yeah, he kind of toddles off into the back, still kind of bleary-eyed. After a short time, he comes back with a pretty fine meal. Nothing super special, but pretty good. He gets you all sat down at a table and pulls up a chair himself and just sits kind of quietly with the group. He's sitting beside Varen, Ogren, whichever one you want. Fuck.
I don't feel bad about that now.
I know, man. I should have never told you.
I guess as I'm eating, I'll just ask Crom. Have you hired a bard recently?
He goes, there was one here, but I didn't really hire him more than he just started working. Guy by the name of Jory.
Is he gone now?
I haven't seen him in a few days. Safe to assume he's gone. With things going on like they are, the business has been a little slow for someone of his skill set, I would think.
Well, was a shot in the dark.
I mean, he
Like,
comes
how-
and goes. He's been here before.
How
Are you
good was
looking
he?
to hire a bard?
Maybe. How good was he?
He was pretty outstanding for the usual goers. I mean, better than your average idiot banging a drum.
Did he have any special things?
He made a nice light show while he was playing, but other than that,
Okay, well, tell us if he comes back.
I can do that.
Or, I don't know, if you know people in other pubs or whatnot.
If I hear
He's
word
around.
of him, I'll tell you.
Thanks. Okay, I guess I'll take a table far end, hoping to have a bit of discretion.
Right
Or-
now, inside the bar, it is pretty much just you guys.
Yeah, just in case, I'm thinking future proof.
Yeah.
So, guys, so what's the plan?
Well, I think we need to make him the easiest target.
Okay, so, I mean, sure, but do you have any ideas on how to do that beyond the clothes?
Um, booze.
Ooh,
Get him drunk.
That's a pretty good idea.
that is not a good. How am I going to defend myself?
You fake it. We're not saying you should. You know, we find a bottle, we fill it with water. Same thing.
I think you should be drunk. If we're asking me, you should get drunk right now. And he
No one's
like
asking.
slides you a bottle.
I don't.
Maybe we get like a couple drinks just so you can get a smell booze from you.
Well,
Switch
we
it
can
to
just
water.
we can just empty a bottle on him. That's easier.
Okay.
this
And I
really
just pour my
necessary?
drink on him.
Not now.
Is this really? You ruined the clothes.
They were already bad.
So you admit
Wait,
they look
they
bad.
look like new clothes.
That's the
Maybe
point.
they should look like he's been working in them. And I start cutting away at the clothes to like.
Wait, no.
So you're now wearing wet, torn up commoner's clothing, Mateo.
All right. Well, you look like a hobo, I guess.
You don't even know if they go for hobos.
Don't. That wasn't my plan. Okay. I'm not the one cutting your clothes. Okay.
Wait, I'll be right back.
Ah.
And I'm gonna run outside, grab like some mud, like and just make like a giant mud pile. Come back in and just start
Ah.
rubbing.
Stop! No, no,
It just like
no. I want to stop him.
Okay. Let's say dexterity saving throws for both of you. Who's faster?
Well, I rolled an 8, so I don't think that's gonna work.
no, it works because I rolled a 3.
The monk with no dex bonus.
No, I have a +4 for my saving throw, but I rolled a 3, which is 7, and you rolled an 8, so you got 1 higher. So
You narrowly avoid the mud pie, Mateo.
You're too eager.
Yeah.
Way too eager.
What do they
Also,
have?
there's,
Mud
like-
on the ground. What the fuck is this city?
No idea.
I smell it. Is it actual mud, or is it like
No.
horse shit?
Yeah, it's definitely shit. There's not a lot of mud on a stone-floored city,
Yeah.
but there's plenty of shit.
Okay, so here's my idea. Okay, we're gonna select a few streets, block. You can go around. We're gonna give you a bottle, which we will fill with water, and you're gonna be able to drink from it periodically, and you can just fuck around. And Reggie will be with you. Okay, and we'll have the captain's men nearby, on standby. And whenever something happens, then we'll be right away. Okay? It's like a sting operation. Okay? And nothing ever bad happens to bait and sting operations. Yeah. Okay, so. I don't know. Do you guys have anything to add? Because I think that's it.
No.
I mean, probably they're not even going to take the bait because I think they choose their targets. But anyway, might as well start a pattern or something, and then maybe in a few days they'll bite. And in the meantime, we can continue the search.
Right. So you want me to drink away every
No.
night?
I'm not. I mean, sure. No, wait, what? When did you get that impression?
Well, I need to create a pattern, don't I?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe we
I guess
gotta have
can
you
do-
in different bars every night.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we get you out, make people see you, like, spend some money here and there in different bars.
Mateo, I meant to ask, how tall are you?
Let me quickly check.
I'm actually a dwarf, but a human
Uh,
dwarf.
in meters or in feet?
You can do meters. I can
Oh,
adjust.
1.7 is 5.
Okay.
I think, yeah, 5.
I just want to make sure you weren't like 7 foot tall trying to act like a human.
I'll
No,
say
no, no,
5'5" is roughly
Hi.
average.
I have giantism.
Okay, well, I guess that's the plan. So let's get started.
So
Meanwhile,
you're
I guess
beginning
you'll
your
be.
your sting operation tonight.
Well,
Yeah.
no. Tonight is we're establishing a pattern, right? I mean, yeah, basically out of character. Like the goal is like, have him for a few days, get out there, so that people see his
He's
face.
seen.
Do the so they get on their radar, whoever they are. Hopefully, right? And then every night, you'll walk for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours around the block, with Reggie on his shoulder. Well, not on his shoulder, but like, somewhere on him that's hidden inside under his clothes. So that if you get assaulted or charmed, then I know about it, and then we can get there. And hopefully, in like 3 or 4 days, we'll find some. Maybe we'll get lucky, and if not, then we'll have another victim, and we'll get maybe a lead.
All right. So for the
And
first night, you're just drinking a little, walking around, and then coming back. Right?
Sure.
it's up to. I mean, it's up to him, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But not like getting wasted, just a little drunk. So you have the smell on you, which you already have because you have a whole beer down your chest. So
Yeah. I assume it gets progressively worse as me and.
yeah, I mean, the longer you don't bathe, the worse it'll get.
Yeah.
Oh, and we do tell Captain Wren about this,
Okay.
so that maybe we get some support, like he said.
Once you set up an area, he would set up to basically take over one of the homes nearby and leave a small group of guards there. So if
Okay.
this is the first night of your little operation, he would have one of the homes nearby basically kitted with a small group of guards.
Okay. Well, basically, I would just pretty much I would stay around there as well. I don't know what else he would do, but I would stay around there because I want to be able to warn them as soon as something goes off, since I have the connection with Reggie. I also want to be somewhere safe since I can't look through Reggie and also, be aware of my own surroundings. So.
And Ozzy, you would be staying with him and the guards then? Or are you going to...
I was gonna basically kind of like follow Mateo around, but maybe like on top of the roofs, just kind of.
You could do that.
Hiding up there, hey, keeping an eye on him.
Yeah. So what I need is we'll do perception for you, Reginald, because you're keeping an eye through Reggie's eyes.
Do I roll with Reggie's stats?
Yeah, Reggie's stats, because you're technically looking through his eyes. For you, Mateo, I would say performance, since you are technically trying to pretend to be drunk and totter around town. And for you, Ozzy, I would need stealth.
I'm rolling so high today. I got a 17 for performance.
16 for stealth.
Awesome.
So I rolled an 11 -1, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, it's -1.
So a 10 overall. All right. Over the course of the evening, after you guys get set up, it takes about 2 hours. It's becoming late evening when you finally get the plan in action. You guys are set up. Well, Reginald, you're set up with the guards in one of the homes nearby. For you, Mateo, the act is pretty believable. You look like a drunk wandering around town looking for something to do. You mill through a few bars, see some people, nobody that sticks out. But in general, it's a pretty easy night of walking around pretending to be drunk, sipping on water. For you, Ozzy, about halfway into the evening of him walking around, you notice someone is following Mateo at a fair distance, several blocks away. But you do notice them because they're not trying to be particularly subtle. If you'd like to, you could go ahead and roll perception to see if you could figure out who they are or what they look like.
12.
It's hard to tell. Definitely a dwarf in size, but you can't get too many details out of the face or anything. They're a fair distance away from you, but definitely smaller than human.
What's Varen doing?
I would assume Varen would be with you, Reginald. He's not a very stealthy man, so
Well, I kind of
staying
thought
with
he'd
the armed people.
I thought he'd be with Mateo partying. Kind of, I don't
Eh.
know. Maybe.
Nah, because I think we don't want to take the risk that the perpetrator would not want to.
And that's
do
kind
us.
of what Varen would see is like if he's part of a group, if Mateo's part of a group, Varen would be a big
Makes-
problem if they
yeah.
went after him. You
Makes
know what I
sense.
mean?
Yeah,
Him
yeah.
being a big armored dwarf that follows around this human would make it look much harder to take.
Makes sense.
So yeah, he's staying with you, Reginald, and the guards there in that one building.
By the way, how do the guards feel about this?
They seem tense but excited at the prospect of dealing with the issue.
Okay.
They're not scared by any means. Most of them are younger dwarves who are ready for a fight at any given moment. They're not nearly as soft-spoken or easygoing as Rin. But throughout the evening, Ozzy, you notice the person.
Mhm.
Pretty quickly after you notice the person, they notice you and leave.
You notice me following?
You
up
see
on-
them glance up towards the rooftops near you
Okay.
and suddenly break from the following pattern and leave. Other than that, the evening goes fairly easily. And after a short time, Mateo, you would feel that it's probably about time to go back to the building and see what's going on with everyone else. Same for you, Ozzy. Once you were noticed, you would I would assume your character would pretty much pick up, well, that's about the end of this night.
Yeah.
Okay, so debrief.
There was what appeared to be a door following him, but he saw me. I don't know that this is going to work anymore. That was, in fact, the person. Now he knows we're on to him.
Well, he doesn't know that. He knows there was some. I mean, he knows there was some goblin. Well, something on the rooftop that looked at him.
The guards just kind of quietly look at you, Ozzy, and then go back to whatever they're doing. They're intermingling.
And we didn't. Honestly, I didn't expect there to be anything. To be honest, because that would break the pattern. So.
What do you mean
think-
anything? I got followed.
Yeah, so that's normal. That was expected. Like he picks his victims, right? So if he's onto you, it's the first day. He's checking things out. He's already killed yesterday. Why would he do it again now? When the last 3 kills were separated by 3 to 4 days.
Maybe he's studying my pattern.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you wouldn't actually have.
But if that
attacked
was,
you.
yeah, if that was him though, now he knows his target is being followed too,
Maybe.
and being watched. So that makes him less of a target.
Does he know that? He doesn't know that.
No, he for sure saw me.
Yeah, but that he saw you, but that could mean any number of things.
At this point, Varen kind of pipes up and goes, what if the guy that was following thinks you, pointing to you, Ozzy, what if he thinks that you're the killer? What if he left because maybe he wasn't associated at all?
I mean, that's a
I'm just saying,
possibility
I mean,
too, but
maybe he took off because he thought you were the one doing this.
it's, I mean, we can still keep
I don't think
trying.
our shot's gone.
It's possible.
It's possible. I'm just saying, even if he's the killer, he sees you. I mean, it's a bit weird to be on the rooftop, to be honest, but I'm just saying, probably we want
Better
you out.
vantage point.
Yeah, okay, but I already got Reggie there, so that we can. I'm just
Right.
saying, tomorrow we
Someone should
don't
really
get
be
you.
there closer.
Why?
Make sure he stays safe. There's a lot can happen in the time that
That's why
it takes you to get to him.
takes 2 minutes.
We've established 2 minutes is how long it takes the guy to beat the guy to death.
Is it?
Yes, you said that.
I think word for word, that's what you said.
Yeah, once it started, but first he's gonna charm you. That's gonna take a bit. Then he's gonna make you follow him. That's gonna
But
take
again,
another
we
bit.
don't know that he's gonna charm you.
Yes, we know. We know he's gonna charm him. Why wouldn't he? you're sticking to main streets. You're not getting into any alleyways. He's gonna charm you. That's the pattern. He always charms them, except for the old lady, which was already in an alleyway. And there's a chance he fails. Right. So tomorrow, how about you don't go on the rooftops?
Okay.
And I'm gonna wait as Reggie. And if I see the guy, then we'll send you in. That way you can shadow him instead of that happening again. Right? And if I have Reggie on the shoulder of Mateo, then for sure I'll see the guy coming. At least, half a minute before it happens. And surely you'll be there before anything wrong happens. You're fast.
Okay.
I think it's better than blowing a shot.
All right. Well, if you're all laying down to rest for the evening, after your, strange moment with the follower, you all wake up the next morning, have your morning feed. Is there anything you'd like to do, or are you just going to wait the day away until late evening and try to run it again?
Maybe Mateo ought to be out today looking for work.
Yeah, I think so too. Just go around, ask random people for work. Well, not random, but
Make yourself known within the city. That
I think I'll definitely go with it. But beforehand, like when I wake up, I want to do one thing that I usually don't do, and find a mirror and just like quickly look at it like in my eyes to see if there's anything wrong with me.
Okay. As you get close to the mirror and look into it, you swear you see movement behind your left eye. Very slight. It's gone in a flash, but just the slightest movement of something.
Oh God. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm not gonna change.
As you're looking into the mirror and you see that movement and have that moment of panic, I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
ruin your costume.
A 10.
10. For just a moment, the almost imperceptible movement is very obvious. Your left eye moves slightly in its socket as if something is shifting behind it.
Ooh. Not okay. I am definitely not okay.
You haven't felt this ever, but this is a lot more than you're used to in recent years since what went on. It's a very disheartening moment for you.
What am I gonna do? What am I going to do? I'm not okay.
The grasping at the back of your mind that you've shifted so many times, growing firmer and firmer. You almost, for a moment, feel like you're out of control of your own body.
I quickly wanna like go out, just out the room.
Just leave the room.
Needing to breathe. I need to breathe.
As you step out of Crom's Rest, out onto the city streets, you feel a strange pull deeper into the city. As if being called by something or someone.
Is this like kind of the same feeling that I have from behind the eye, or is it something completely different?
They feel parallel, connected in
I
some way.
I will follow the voice.
You follow the pulling feeling?
Yes.
All right.
We see him leave.
As you walk, you're all in your own rooms, I would assume,
Okay.
except for you, Ozzy, who I think were sleeping in his room, right? I think that was what was agreed
I
upon.
think him,
Yeah,
Mateo and I were sharing
we
rooms.
usually
So if I
share
saw
rooms.
him
Yeah.
do all that, right?
Well, you would have seen him leave the room and go find a mirror. There isn't one in your room, as I said.
Oh, that's right.
So you wouldn't have seen him leave in a tussle or anything. It looked
Okay.
like he was just getting up to go to the bathroom or go get food.
Gotcha. So no reason I have no reason to follow him.
No reason to
Gotcha.
suspect anything.
Gotcha.
For you, Mateo,
making sure.
after 25 or 30 minutes or so of walking deeper into the city, that pull feeling starts to slip and fade. It's definitely in the direction of where you guys went to go see where the older lady was found, or near to the strange house, but not near enough for you to draw any conclusions. Whatever it was pulling you deeper into the city, and it is now gone.
Mm,
And the motion behind your eye finally ceases.
Okay. What was I doing again? Where am I? What? Why am I outside?
What's your passive perception, Mateo?
It is. That's a perception of 13.
13. For just a moment, you see a flash of movement down the street from you, cutting off to the right down an alleyway.
And I know for sure that like nobody else is around. Like when I look around, is there anybody?
There aren't any people walking the streets. You've seen a few guards on your walk, who are just kind of patrolling, but you're not drawing any attention by any means, so they haven't stopped you or questioned you. Whatever moved was smaller than you, but other than that, you don't see much.
Okay. How far are the guards from me, by the way?
Guards are a few blocks down.
So more than 30 feet, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can I cast light on what do I have? On a dagger, I guess. Yes, a dagger,
Yes.
and to go see what it is.
Yeah. You light up the dagger, and this is the light spell that basically makes like 30 feet of dim light, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, you have a torch in the form of a dagger. As you walk around the corner, you see. Go ahead.
20 feet, I think.
20?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, roughly a torch. As you round the corner, you do see an older dwarven male sitting in it looks like a little shanty made out of a few boxes, that have been kind of stacked together and broken out into a small place for him to sit and be covered from anything. He's just sitting quietly, and as you walk up, the eyes are white, snowblind. But as you approach, he it's been a while since I've had any visitors. How are you,
I'm
friend?
fine. Why are you out here all alone?
This is home. Where else would I be?
Out there in the open? I mean, it's rather dark over here.
Dark and light mean nothing to someone who can't see, friend.
Are you okay?
I'm as good as I can be. Are you okay? And as he says that movement behind your eye flares once more.
No, I'm definitely not okay. There's something in my eye. I mean, something is definitely wrong with me.
I wonder what that could mean.
Mateo will look around to see if there's anybody.
Go ahead and roll perception.
Perception. Perception. There we go. Oh, and that one.
And that one.
Yeah.
You seem to be alone in this dimly lit alleyway with this older man.
Something's wrong with me. Sure. Why are you asking me how I am? What?
I might be blind, but I see many things.
What is
and
it?
you look very uneasy, friend.
Yeah. I've had some bad sleep. Definitely. Yeah, can't sleep. I think I should go. My friends are waiting for me just around the corner.
All right. Rest well. You're growing.
What do you mean?
And as he says that, his vision, the visage of him disappears. The boxes around him no longer there either. You're standing alone in an alleyway, speaking to no one.
Growing. Okay. Oh. And I will make my way back to the others, just thinking to myself what to do with the situation.
Takes you about 45 minutes to get back to Crom's Rest and get inside. And at about this point, the rest of you would probably be awake and eating breakfast. You, Ozzy, of course, wondering why Mateo didn't come back.
A little stopped up, a little constipated.
Just I didn't feel so good. I needed some fresh air.
Okay, it happens to the best of us.
Is the food any good?
Okay. Best food I've ever had.
Okay, I'll have what they're having. Yeah.
Crom pretty quickly brings you a plate. The thrumming in your eye stopped after he left your vision, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, any news on the follower, guys?
No, not yet.
Well, we'll see next time you go out.
Right. Okay. I guess I'll be ready to go out when I've eaten, right? And we'll have some more progress in this case.
Okay. So you all kind of pass the day away, sitting around, wait for the late evening, and go for another round of your little spy game?
Yeah, I guess I'd also be I'd be going out to bars and such to try and no, actually I'd be rounding out families. I'd be going to I'd talk to the captain and find the addresses of the families and try and question them roughly, just to maybe find any similarities between the victims, just maybe they frequented one place, they had one place in common, maybe they all worked at one place at some point, something like
As
that.
you go ahead and roll a persuasion for me.
Persuasion. Yikes. Okay, 12. Wait, I need to double check that. Okay, it's a 12.
Okay. After questioning a few of the families over the course of the day, there's not much in common between any of the victims. Those with families to speak to, anyway. It seems like they all everyone goes to bars. It is a way to pass time and break stress, but in terms of that, that's really the only thing they have in common, is that they were all known for hopping bars and going different places, not really having a group of friends that lock them in one place, and they don't ever just go to the same bar every night.
Okay.
They were all known for drifting for their evenings of leisure.
Cool. So the bar did it. Okay.
Spooky monster house bar.
Yeah. That's all I'd be doing for the day.
Okay. As evening comes, I will go ahead and... Go ahead, Ozzy.
I want to go check out the spooky house.
Why? You said there was nothing in there for 20 years. Well, 20 years ago.
Okay. That doesn't mean there's not anything in there now, hiding. I mean, where else is a good place to hide but in a spooky house that no one likes to bother with?
Yeah.
That's where I would hide.
You little gremlin. So is that where you'd all like to go? Or just you, Ozzy?
I mean, I'm going to ask Varen if he wants to go with me.
If it's just you, Varen would go with you.
But I didn't know
if the party
other
is going
two wanted
together.
to go together, yeah.
I'll
But
go
I'm
with
not
him.
there. I'm busy, like...
I assume,
Going out
this
to
was kind of going
families.
on at the same time, so...
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
by yourself, Reginald. Then I guess the three of us will go?
Yes.
Mateo's going with us.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah.
After, roughly an hour's walk, you make it back to the same, strange abode. As you look around the outside, most of the, like the doorways and things like that have been nailed shut, to keep people from breaking in, and probably to keep kids from getting themselves into bad situations, chasing after ghosts. Varen takes a moment and starts pulling down the wood slats across the doors. Yup. Pretty quickly pulls them all down, and you are allowed access into the building. As you all step inside, the inside is barren. There is no furniture, no rugs. The house itself is dormant. Nothing inside. There are, cobwebs and things like that, but the space itself does not look as if it's been used. If you'd like to, you could roll investigation to see if you could find some finer details. And Varen will give you advantage if that's what you're choosing to do.
Yeah. Investigation.
Mm-hmm.
8.
After searching for some time, you don't see any trace of anyone coming or going. It looks as if this place has been locked up for quite some time. And you can see Varen is kind of on guard. Like, he doesn't like being here. Just probably from the, scary stories as a kid of this place. He's been here before, but he's still a superstitious man. Uncomfortable.
It's all one level, right? Well, no,
As far as you can tell.
No, it was 2 levels, you said.
Yeah, I mean, you see the stairs up there and you go up, but there's nothing anywhere as you search through the home. You don't see any...
On the bottom level, can I look to see if there's any, like, trapdoor that may be a basement or a crawl space or something?
Go ahead and roll investigation again, at advantage.
10.
For a short time looking, you don't see any trapdoors or ways into a basement.
There's no signs of life, no sign of anyone living here.
It looks completely undisturbed,
Okay.
like walking into an abandoned house. It's just, there's nothing there.
Okay. Well, I don't think they're hiding out here.
Varen looks up. You don't say. Just an empty house? You thought they'd be here?
But I mean, again, if you want to be hidden.
I'm joking, kid. Yeah, you're right. It was a good idea. Nice try. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Mateo, for you, as you step into the building and search around with everyone else, that feeling of being pulled that you had before grows immensely strong and then vanishes as you step through the doorway into the building.
And I discern where it was trying to pull me to.
It feels like here.
Did you feel that, Ozzy?
No. So what?
Something was like pulling on us. Didn't you
No.
for like a split second? No.
As you say that, Varen unshoulders his shield and gets his hammer ready, just kind of looking around, uncomfortable with you saying something was pulling you.
Are you okay? I mean, it's just a house, you said, right?
Sure, it's just a house.
I don't think it's
Just
a
like every
house.
scary story is just a scary story. Doesn't mean I like being here, and if you're getting pulled here, I don't want to be here. That's weird.
That's a
Okay,
little weird, even for me.
With him saying that, I will use mage armor on myself just to make
Okay.
sure.
Ready's mage armor.
Um,
I don't
can
know
I
what's
try to
going on?
connect? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just like super confused.
Can I try to like connect with that pulling feeling once again?
Yeah, as you reach out, almost instantaneously, you giving up the will to fight against this thing, you feel that grasp snatch onto your mind again. The tugging behind your eye, very rapidly becoming a strange undulating pull. You're led into a back room on the first floor, and
Going with him.
Ozzy, yeah, as you all follow, I assume.
Yeah.
Ozzy, you checked this room pretty thoroughly. You were pretty sure there's nothing in here. You, Mateo, as you step into the room, you just automatically run your hand across the floor and break a line of dust that shows a seam in the wood. There is a trapdoor in this room.
Do you point out the trapdoor?
Yes.
Okay.
I think if I'm not completely under its control, whatever.
I'll take out my staff and hit the trapdoor, like knock.
Okay.
And just kind of ready to see what happens, if anything.
As you do that, Varen readies his weapons. Mateo, do you ready anything as he knocks on the trapdoor?
Do I even have anything to ready? I guess I'll just stand behind the two of them, I guess.
Okay, just standing behind them, looking imposing.
Yeah, just...
As you knock twice with your staff on the top of the door creaks open. And what's your AC, Ozzy?
13.
You immediately take 9 damage as a bolt slams into your chest.
I saw it coming, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Deflect missiles.
Okay.
Yes.
So it was 9 damage.
Yes.
Sure, I know how to do this. Deflect missiles.
Don't monk shit.
Yeah. The damage you take. 1d10 plus 5. How much was it?
It was 9 damage.
Okay. So I'll have to roll more than... Yeah. Essentially, whatever I roll negates the damage. But if I roll
And
higher...
if you get it to 0,
But if
yeah,
I get
you
to
can...
0, I can throw it back.
Yep.
That's 8. Okay, so I negate all but 1. So it was 9,
All right.
right? Yeah, so I rolled
So
an 8.
the arrow barely pierces into your flesh.
Yep.
But rather bolt, not arrow. Shorter. As that happens, the door slams shut and you hear a locking noise underneath.
Okay. Hello?
No response?
Not here to hurt you.
For you, Mateo, that pull is almost inescapable now. You need to get into that basement.
I will kind of like push Ozzy aside and just be like, "Hello, I need to get in. I need to get in. Who are you? I need to know what's down there."
As you say that, you hear the lock on the underside unclasp again, fairly loud. It's not a subtle thing, this lock.
As soon as I hear that,
And-
I open it. I grab the door open.
Okay. And Varen helps you hold it open. As you open it up, it is dark down there. You can't see anything. Who among you has dark vision?
I do. 60 feet.
I think I do.
As you both look down in there, the black and white expanse of your dark vision expanding into the room, you see. Go ahead and both of you roll perception for me. I need to look. Do dwarves have dark vision? Does anyone know?
I think so. They
so.
live
I'll
mainly
check,
underground,
I'll check for
don't they?
you. I'll check for you.
That perception.
Yeah. Superior vision in darkened in conditions. We're good.
12.
12 and a 7.
Yes.
As you both look down in there, you don't perceive anything. Let me roll for Varen. As you all are looking down in there, not noticing anything, Varen suddenly screams, "There's 4 of them!" and then throws the hammer down into the room.
Okay.
Hits.
Are we in initiative now, I assume?
Roll initiative, everybody. Well, everyone but Reginald,
Reginald.
who...
You know, I'm gonna go to the toilet. Have fun, guys.
Yeah. Leave your camera on, though, because it'll fuck up the screen.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh. So how's our initiative looking, fellas?
21.
15.
That's
21
the
from you,
wrong side.
Mateo?
Yes.
No, that's the right soundtrack.
Baron. Ozzy. And them. All right. Up first is Mateo. Looking into the room, you don't see anyone immediately.
I would like to hold on, man. I don't want any trouble. I just need to know what's down here. Look, I don't want to hurt you. I just want to know.
Do I notice he's
Okay.
acting like weird and erratic? Like,
He seems strange, but you've also seen him panic in moments like this, so
that's fair.
it's a little wishy-washy. He watched you get shot with an arrow, and then you ripped open the door,
Fair.
and the door opened for him, but closed for you. It's a confusing situation. Not real clear. So Mateo, you're not taking an action. You're just holding your hands up and
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. That leads us to Varen, who is going to take a leap down the trapdoor into the room. As he hits the ground at the bottom, it is probably 20 foot down from the trapdoor. And he falls to one knee and is technically prone for the turn. That brings us to you, Ozzy.
Is there a ladder or stairs?
Yeah, there's a ladder down.
I'll go down the stairs. With the ladder.
Okay. You make it down the ladder just fine. About
Yeah.
20 feet of movement.
Okay, so I still have half my movement. Do I see anything once I get down there?
No, not immediately. If you'd like to make a perception check as your action.
17.
Okay. As you jump down and take your perception check of a 17, you see before you 4 guards, 4 not guards, but 4 hooded figures of roughly dwarven shape hiding, just breaking vision from you. Finally clear to your eye.
That was my action.
Yes. Anything for a bonus action that you want to do?
Hang on.
It broke again. No.
No, it did not. I'll spend a key point in patient defense.
Okay.
My bonus.
With you both now clearly revealed, the 4 guards are going to strike out twice at each of you. That is 2 misses for you, and 2 misses for Varen. Great. So all 4 of them fire these heavy crossbows you now see in their hands at you, missing each of their shots. Moment of panic as you both made it down into the room fairly quickly. That brings us back up to you, Mateo, standing at the doorway of the trapdoor.
So, and I can't see them, right? Can I walk down? Can I walk on down?
Yeah, you can climb down. 20 feet of movement or so, and you're down into the room.
And how far away are they from me now?
You don't clearly see them. If you'd like to take your action, you could try to perceive.
Yes, I would like to.
Since no one's taken any aggressive actions towards them, they're not revealed to you.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Okay.
I assume that's my turn then?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you have a bonus action spell, I don't know.
No.
What's the perception check?
23.
23. Very easily, you see the four of them creeping in shadow. Suddenly revealed to you their hoods and dark leather clothes and armor, and these heavy crossbows with these wicked bolts hanging off the front edge. All four of them are reloading currently. That brings us to Varen, who is going to charge towards the one closest to him and swing with his hammer. Hits. 6 damage. Hold on. Alright, we're good. So, 6 damage. Alright. That brings us to you, Ozzy.
Now that I see them, I'm gonna go to whichever one Baron didn't go hit. Like, just find
Yep.
Baron has one. Move to one of them. Hit with my staff.
Alright, go ahead and roll an attack.
Natural 1 does not hit.
Alright. As you lash out, he moves quickly out of the way. It brings us back up to all of the guard. They are going to... The two that are now in melee are going to pull these scimitars from their belts, and the two that are not are going to shoot bolts at Mateo.
Oh, okay.
Mateo, what is your armor class with mage armor on?
15.
Both of them miss. Well, they hit the mage armor, but shatter against your magical shield.
Okay.
The 2 swings on each of you. One hits you, Ozzy.
Okay.
For 3 damage.
Okay.
And that brings us back up to you, Mateo.
Okay. I would like to twin charm person on the 2 people that are fighting in melee.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would do, yeah.
Is that a roll at advantage? I don't remember how charm person works.
That's just normal. Because twinning isn't heightened, so just normal.
I thought because of combat it was at disadvantage.
Oh,
Or advantage for them.
blah blah blah. Actually, must make a wish. That's a. Oh yeah, you're right. With advantage,
So,
yeah.
2 rolls at advantage. That is a 14 and a 5. And so the totals are 17 and 15.
The one with the 15 makes it, and the other one doesn't. Wait, the
17 and 15.
Yeah, they both pass my leg.
Okay. I was like, wait, how's the high one lose? I'm confused.
I was like, what?
So they both shrug off the magical effect. That brings us up to Varen, who's going to proceed battering this man. 13 that hits. This. Oh, 9. All right. The one that Varen is fighting is looking really, really rough. Ozzy, it is your turn.
Staff hit again.
Okay.
Better 14.
Hits.
That is 5.
5 damage?
Yep.
All right.
No,
No Fury of the Small or anything?
that was with Fury the Small.
Okay.
Key point, flurry of blows.
All right.
That's 18 plus 4. That hits.
Definitely.
Five damage.
All right.
Extract aspects.
They are immune to psychic damage and stunning, and charm.
Cool. I relay that as quick as I can.
All right. Yeah, I was prepared this time, bitch. What's up? All right, that brings us to the guards. The one that is at the back of the room, one of the two archers that are still firing, is going to turn and run deeper into the room. It'd be just past your edge of vision, but your edges of vision for dark vision. So he disappears into the darkness. The other one is going to fire on you, Ozzy. Does a 16 hit?
Yes.
Okay. For a whopping 1 damage if you'd like to deflect missiles.
I'm out of key points.
Awesome.
I only have
1
3
damage.
at this level, so
Cool.
I used them
Works
all.
for me. So 1 damage off that arrow.
Yeah.
Because I rolled like shit. The other 2 that are in melee with you and Varen are going to swing on you both. The one swinging on you misses. The one swinging on Varen hits.
Analyze creature reaction.
Okay.
That
Analyze creature is...
That's the one. The one that hit me is the one I analyzed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing. I mean, it's just like extract aspects, right?
Yeah. So if I've used extract aspects on him, if a creature that I've used that on misses me, I can use reaction to hit him.
Okay. Yeah. So you're throwing a dart at the one that was firing on you?
No, I thought you said the
one that was swinging on you.
Yeah, because he's the one that I analyzed, right?
We're good. So yeah, take your strike.
Yeah.
I had to think about that.
6-17.
And the one that hit Varen did 3 damage to him. All right. You said 17 hits.
Yeah. 5 damage.
All right. He is looking very rough. Beating him bloody. That brings us back up to you, Mateo.
Okay, I have a question. Is it possible for me to use shocking grasp, like up close, but non-lethally?
Non-lethal shocking grasp? A little hard to control.
Yeah,
I would leave it up to fate. If you'd like to try it, we'll see if he lives or dies.
Cool, we'll do that.
Which one are you going for? The one that's fighting Ozzy or the one that's fighting Varen? They're both in pretty rough shape.
The one that is fighting Ozzy.
Okay. And what is the spell save on that? Or is it an attack?
It's an attack.
All right.
Yeah. So I rolled a 19 to hit.
Definitely hits. Roll your damage.
3 damage.
3 damage. The one that's fighting Ozzy, taken by lightning very rapidly, falls to the ground smoldering. Looks like he's still breathing.
Okay, good. We need that one alive. And pass.
Okay. Back up to Varen. He's going to swing on the one he's fighting. Does not hit, because he's a big idiot. And that brings us to you, Ozzy.
I'll go to the one that Varen's fighting.
Okay.
Since the other one that I was fighting is down now, right?
Yes. The one that you were fighting is down. There's one that's ran away.
Right.
And then there's one in the back shooting, and the one you're going to that's fighting Varen.
Yeah, I'll go to that one.
Okay.
That hit. Natural 16, that hits, right?
Hits.
Yeah. 3 points of damage.
3 points of damage. He is exceptionally bloody, but not off his feet yet. Brings us to the 2 remaining guards. The one that's just been struck by you is going to swing on Varen again. It misses. The one that's standing at the back with his crossbow is going to load and fire on you, Ozzy. Misses. And that brings us back up to you, Mateo.
Is anything down here made out of wood? Like, is everything still like wooden?
As you're looking around, most of it is stone, but there is a table with some parchment on it nearby.
In that case, I will firebolt the furthest guy not shooting at us.
Okay.
19 to hit
Definitely hits.
for 10 damage.
10 damage. And that sucks to be him. All right. Back up to Varen. He's going to swing on the man standing near. Hits. And he's fucking dead even if I roll a 1, so he's dead. All right. That just leaves the one standing at the back still firing, and it is your turn, Ozzy.
I'll close distance on that one. I guess go over to him. Staff shot. That's 8.
Does not hit.
Yeah.
Narrowly avoids it. And he's going to pull his scimitar and swing on you.
All right.
Does a 20 hit?
Natural or not?
No, just a normal 20, a dirty 20.
Okay.
I'm not going to one-shot you tonight. I don't think so. We'll see.
Well, it would be a one
it
shot
is-
because I've already taken some damage, but you know.
It is 6 damage on the scimitar strike. And that will bring us up to Mateo.
Firebolt, and I'll
All
be
right.
like, Aussie duck, and use and
Tears Ozzy's head
yeah.
off.
I'm 4 feet tall. Shoot it over.
16 to hit
16 definitely hits.
for 7 damage.
7 damage. He's looking really rough. And smoldering at the edges because of your fire. It goes to Varen, who's going to, instead of moving towards it, just throw his hammer. Hits. And he is dead. Varen is on fire. All right, cool. So Varen, turning to the last man standing, throws the hammer, and it just collides with the man's head and then returns to Varen's hand. You are left with one man unconscious in a fairly strangely quiet room, knowing that one ran away. What would you like to do?
So I know the one ran away, right?
You all saw him run away. He was not trying to sneak away. This was like a dead sprint. He was scared.
Okay, but he ran in deeper into the thing.
Deeper down into these tunnels, yes.
Okay, I'll go my 40-footy movement that I can and just see if I can see him still running.
It's empty.
I assume
You-
yeah.
As you run your 40 feet, you reach what looks to be the edge of a basement, but instead of there being a wall, it's like a naturally formed tunnel that goes deeper into the ground.
The ground. Okay.
And you don't see anyone there.
I guess I'll go back, knowing that that guy got away. Yes,
Okay.
I mean, I'm
Not
not
much
just
you
gonna
can do in
run
that
off. Yeah,
situation.
I'm not gonna
Right.
run. I'm smart enough to know, like, I'm not running down that tunnel by myself.
With that, guys, if we'd like to, we could cliffhanger it here.
Sounds good.
That sounds good.
Pick up again Thursday.
On the other side of the city, Reginald finds a coin on the ground. Hey, look at
Hey,
that.
look, a nickel. Yeah, I didn't expect this to happen, but you guys are clever.
It's always the spooky house. What are you talking about?
Yeah, definitely. This is the place you're supposed to be.
Right.
Turns out it was unrelated.
Oh, it'll be so much fun.
And all honestly, not
So,
sure these are the 4 that are the killers, though.
No, I don't think so either.
Sure. Yeah, they have nothing to do with any of us.
Yeah,
Um,
It's
So-
an angry phone call from Jenny. Yo, what the fuck?
So next time should just come an hour late, or
Nah. You'll be alright. You'll be alright. We'll pick up right where we left off.
yeah, sounds good. All right.
Unless this group is as stupid as they look.
We might be.
all right.
But like I said, that's gonna be it for us for this episode. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. Again, if you come in the middle of this and miss part of it, don't worry. Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, we will have this uploaded up to our YouTube page for you guys to watch and check out. And that's pretty much it. We'll see you guys next week.